Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a pretty large book haul, which I'm very excited about. And just about every single one of these books, besides I think 3 of them, have been basically from half price or Goodwill or something like that, or like my library bookstore, so none of these were full price and I'm pretty proud of myself. Except for a couple that I actually got today. But I'm going to start off with some books that I got at my library bookstore. I got Brandon Sanderson, The Way of Kings, which is like 1,007 pages in the normal book form. This one, it's about 1,300. So it's a big book, but this is super good. I've started it before. I didn't get to finish it because I had to return it, so I thought, when I saw it, I was like, I have to buy this so that I can actually finish it. But it's a fantasy novel that's going to be really complicated and in-depth, obviously, but it involves a lot of things. I don't know. Honestly, this book is going to be really complicated to explain. Like, I feel like all of Brandon Sanderson's books are. This book is from 4 characters. There's the surgeon, forced to forsake healing and fight in the most brutal war of time. The assassin, who weeps as he kills. The liar, who wears her scholar's mantle over a thief's heart, and the prince whose eyes open to the ancient past as his thirst for battle wanes. So one of them may redeem us and one of them may destroy us. It's all about people who are forced to fight a war basically that's going on and none of them want to. So the next book I got is Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. This is another epic fantasy book about a world called Elantris where you go once you go through this kind of transformation and you get turned into kind of like almost a god. You're blessed with strength, insight, and speed, and you can perform magic. So all of a sudden though, it stopped, I think. So I think this race might be dying out. I'm not really sure. I'm kind of going to go into it without knowing anything because I think that'll be like the most interesting way to do it. The next books I got, I was so happy when I found this at my library bookstore. I got Illuminate and Gemina, and they're very beautiful and I love them. I've read Illuminate. I've just never read Gemina, so I think it'll be really, really awesome to get to continue with the series because I literally read Illuminate in one day and couldn't stop myself. And it's so good, so I'm really excited. And Obsidio just came out, so I'm kind of interested to see how like the series wraps up and what's going to happen from this point on. But if you haven't heard of this book, I would definitely look it up. I feel like it's also something to go into without knowing anything. Just know that it has like multimedia text, and none of it's like straight up like book text. It's all emails and security footage and stuff like that, and the pages are like all really different and there's so many things going on. It's super awesome. And the next book I got was Wind Witch by Susan Dennard. This is the second book to the Truth Witch series, and I'm so excited because I really, really love Truth Witch, so I'm very happy to get to continue it with Wind Witch. It's so beautiful. This cover, oh my god, you guys, I love it. The first book is about this witch who's a truth witch, which means she knows when people are telling the truth or not, and she's very rare, so people want her. And then it's also her best friend point of view. It's 2 pieces, well, it's more than 2, but it's basically 2, who's a thread witch, so she can see threads in your body, and that means like if you are lustful towards someone or jealous, she knows and she can sense that. But so they kind of have to start running because someone finds out she's a truth witch, and you can't have that happen. Alright, the next book I got for an all-school read we're doing at our school, where we're all supposed to read this book and be happy about diversity. It's All American Boys by Jason Reynolds. I don't know, it's a book about a racial issue, a cop beating up a black boy for stealing even though he wasn't stealing, and the controversy that comes with that. And there was a witness who saw this happen, and we don't know if he'll come forward or not because it's his best friend's brother who did it to the black boy. But I don't know. I don't particularly want to read it. I don't like that they picked that book for an all-school read. I think they should have done something people would actually, like, really want to read. I mean, I think it's a good book, and I get why they would pick it, but I also don't think people are going to be really interested in reading it, so I just have an issue with that. But when I was in Texas, my aunt took me to Half Price Books there, and I got a couple books, and I'm very excited about them. So, I'll show you them. I got Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. This is about a girl who's going to this detective school. It's the best school in the country where you learn to be a detective, and she wants to uncover this mystery because when the school first opened up, the man who opened it, his wife and daughter were kidnapped, and they were found later murdered, and there's a big mystery and it's never been solved, and she decides that she wants to solve it. And it's blurbed by John Green, which is intricately plotted, compulsively readable, which is pretty good, I'd have to say, for John Green. The next book I got, which I'm also really excited about, is The Astonishing Color of After by Emily X. R. Pan. This is so beautiful, you guys. Look at this book. It's so beautiful. I can't even handle it. But this is about a girl whose mother died, and she kind of can't handle that fact, and she thinks that her mom was rebirthed as a crane, and she goes to Vietnam to meet her maternal grandparents that she's never met before, and she's meeting them and dealing with this crane that she thinks is her mother and the grief, and I just think it'll be really good. So I'm excited. Oh, it's another one by John Green. It's blurbed. Beautifully crafted with heart-wrenching beauty and condor, a very special book. John Green's been busy this year, I have to say. Alright, and then the next book I got is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. You guys, I'm so excited to read this book. I think, for one, beautiful! Oh my god! And, oh, I'm so excited. It's a fantasy novel, but it takes place in Africa, and it does, I think, Hindu mythology is more what it uses, or something like that. I believe it's Hindu, but that might not be right. But magic disappeared in her land, the main character's land, and she's going on a quest to bring it back with a princess who ran away, with a runaway princess. And she's going to find it with a runaway princess, and I think her brother, so a prince, is trying to chase them down because he wants to eradicate magic. So there's just a lot going on with this book, and it's so beautiful, and I love it. And then now to the books I just got today. Actually, no, I missed one book. I got Etiquette and Espionage by Gail Cardinger. If you guys have seen this book on my channel before, it's because I really love this series, and I've read the second and third one, I think, while I've been doing this channel. It's about a school where you learn etiquette, like where you used to go to in the Victorian era to like etiquette schools, but then it's also you learn to be a spy, and it's steampunk spy Victorian novel with supernatural creatures, so it's literally everything you could want, and it's hilarious. It's my favorite book ever. But now for what I got for today, I'm so happy. So this is a book I've also been really wanting that came out recently, so I finally just got it. And that's The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. You guys, what's up with all these gorgeous covers? Okay, so this is about a girl whose grandmother, is it grandmother or mother? Ooh, this book has never been opened before, could you hear that? Yeah, her grandmother wrote these fairy tales. Really dark, grotesque fairy tales that have a huge cult following. And then one of the creatures from a fairy tale kidnaps her mother. So she has to go and find her mother, and finds out that this world her grandmother made up is not made up. So she partners with one of her grandmother's cult fans, and they go on a quest. And it's beautiful, and I'm excited, and I love it. Oh my god. Okay, and I also got The Thief by Megan Turner. I've heard about this so much by Persitopia, right? Yes, she's one of my favorite booktubers. Actually, I think she's honestly my favorite at this point. But she's raved about this series. It's a fantasy novel, but like the politics and the world, like the politics is really important in this novel and intertwines with everything, and she said it's developed really well. And this is about someone who can steal anything, and he's invited on a quest to steal an object straight out of legend. So, yeah, he's basically is just someone who wants to steal something, and probably gets mixed up with politics along the way, and I'm excited. Ooh, it's so pretty too. Like, you guys, look at these covers. Honestly, so pretty. Okay. Then I got My Lady Jane by Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jody Meadows. I've read this before, but when I saw it, I had to have it because this is one of my favorite books I've ever read. It's hilarious and beautifully crafted, and I absolutely love it. So I saw it, I'm like, I need it so I can look at it on my shelf and probably reread it this summer. I can so see myself rereading this book this summer. But if you don't know, it's kind of like a retelling of Queen Jane. She was like the 7-day queen, I believe. Is that right? Is it 7 days? I think so. But before Queen Mary took over. But this is kind of a retelling that involves not werewolves, but people who turn into animals, basically, and just a really big fantasy element mixed in with this historical time period, and so much humor. It's hilarious, and I love it. And I think there's a new one that just came out, or is coming out, I believe. Yeah, My Plain Jane just came out, and I haven't read that, but I really want to. And then I decided to get The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black, because I just finished The Cruel Prince, and I was like, oh my god, I need more fairies. And she is apparently the best fairy writer ever. So I got this one, because this is also about the fae. So this one is about a brother and sister who live in the world that's like meshed with the fae, so they're humans and fae together. And she always told her brother, or they told each other, about this myth about the prince, like a prince of the fae in a glass coffin, but then one day he wakes up. They always talked about him waking up, but then he does wake up, and I don't really know, that's all it says, but it seems pretty interesting. I actually kind of hate this cover. I don't know, I feel like it's beautiful, and I also don't like it at the same time. You should tell me how you think. Am I crazy? I think it's gorgeous, but then, like, I don't know. It looks really pretty in the camera, though. I don't know. I'm crazy. Alright, the last book I got today is With Malice by Ellen Cook. I heard about this book, and I think the cover is absolutely beautiful, and it was only $6, so I was like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna get it. Because, like, look how cool this is. So it's someone who travels to somewhere in Europe. I want to say, Italy. So someone travels to Italy on a school trip, and then someone gets involved with a fatal car accident, but I think it's kind of like a murder mystery, right? Yes. So there's like, it was a car accident, but they think it was more murder, and the main character is like a main suspect because she was the girl's best friend, the girl who died. So yeah, I think it'll just be really cool, and I'm interested. But that's all I have for you today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know I did, and I'm so happy to put all these on my shelf. I can't fit them on my shelf. Well, luckily I just got a new bookshelf, so. Alright, I gotta do some reorganizing. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye-bye!